But my biggest priority right now is bringing those folks to justice, and I think the American people have seen that's a commitment I always keep.
Really? Here we are, a year later, and nothing. Where's the justice? Is this the Obama version of justice? I'm just not buying it, and neither should anyone else. The facts have never been clearer. The wrong has never been greater. The lies have never been more absurd. The ambassador knew he was in trouble. He repeatedly asked for help, and he was repeatedly turned down by his friend Hillary Clinton. Mr. President, you put Americans in harm's way in a consulate that did not meet minimum safety standards, and you don't even avenge their deaths? You leave Americans alone on a rooftop with our enemy dragging an ambassador through the streets, and you never issue the order to defend them? And then you send your crack FBI to investigate. A month later, the local police department in any small town in America could have solved this one. You literally have a video of the crime. I'm starting to think that maybe you don't want it solved. And that crack accountability review board, who didn't bother to interview Hillary, absolved everyone. 4 people are suspended from the State Department, only to be quietly reinstated. But the whistleblower is demoted. The guy who was actually there begging for help, demoted to desk duty. And still, 1 year later, no one is in custody. You use the IRS to go after your political enemies, but you can't use the vast military powers at your disposal to find those who massacred Americans, the ones who don't hesitate to put their lives on the line for all of us. And you say the American people know that bringing those responsible to justice is a commitment you'll always keep? Mr. President, not only have you not kept that commitment to the American people, but the family of those that you left behind to die deserve better than your false promises, your fake narrative, and the flag that was draped over their loved ones' coffins. Joining me now, a woman who knows better than anyone that the president has yet to live up to his promise of justice, Pat Smith, the mother of Sean Smith, one of the 4 heroes killed in Benghazi. And also with me on set is one of the authors of Under Fire, the untold story of the attack in Benghazi, Samuel Katz. Pat, it's been a year. You haven't given up. I've seen you in Washington at hearings. What, if anything, have you learned since that horrific day?
That's kind of curious because when I was there in Washington, when all this first started, the FBI had me in a room over there to tell me what they were doing. And there were about 10 of them sitting around the table there with the attorney and with everybody that was involved in the FBI. And they said that they were going to follow this up until they finally got the guys that did this. And they showed me pictures of 3 different guys that they say that they suspected and they wanted to question and bring them in. Those same 3 guys never were caught, never were questioned, and I saw the same 3 pictures of them just the other day on TV. They're still looking for them. So I don't have too much faith in that. In fact, the FBI said all they were interested in doing was finding the terrorists that were involved in this.
Yeah, and
that's
on the
all.
screen
They weren't involved in anything else but
those
just that.
10 FBI agents. All right. Samuel, you call your book The Untold Story of the Attack. What have you learned that you can tell us about Benghazi?
Well, The Untold Story is really the story of the Benghazi attack as told through the perspective of the State Department's Diplomatic Security Service, the 5 young special agents who were stationed in Benghazi the night of the attack. And we cover the history sort of these attacks throughout the world from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the last 10 years in the global war on terror. and how in reality such attacks are really nothing new at all. They've been going on for a long time.
But here's the thing. Forgetting about the attacks in the past, you've got Pat Smith, all right? She's the mother of Sean Smith. It's been a year. No one has told her exactly what happened. Do you know what happened?
We believe we know some details, but Benghazi was a very unique case of expeditionary diplomacy.
What does that mean?
Expeditionary diplomacy is when things around the world happen very quickly, and we here try and catch up. And we locate ourselves in governments and nations that are post-revolutionary, post-war. And there isn't the time or the...
You know what? Let me ask you this. Did the president issue the cross-border authority order? Did the president actually say, send in the Delta Force and the FAST teams and everyone else? Did he do that? Do you know?
There's a big misconception about the immediacy of immediate response. I always use the analogy of a baseball announcer that speed slows down the game. An attack slows down the wheels of response because you have to muster the forces, you have to find
Oh, hogwash. There are forces all over the world who are ready, on the ready. This was a danger zone. The ambassador said that he wanted help.
But they weren't ready to respond to a fluid attack.
Oh, what were they going to do? Our enemies are going to hit us static?
The forces that we have in JSOC aren't designed to respond to such fluid attacks.
Oh.
Mogadishu,
with all due respect, you know what? I know, I'm sure you know more about this than I do, but I got to tell you, this is the United States of America. Pat, I'm going to go to you. What you heard? What do you want to say when you say good? Talk. Talk to us.
Talk to you. Okay. The government is not doing what they should do. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. They lie to you. They tell you what they want you to know. May or may not be correct. And in my case, it's always been lies. From the very minute.
Very disappointing. Can you understand why Pat is saying that?
My sympathies and my heartfelt condolences go out to Mrs. Smith over the loss of Sean. But I'm trying very hard to explain that in the real world, not the world of television or 24, things move very slowly. In 1983, a Hezbollah mastermind...
No, I don't want to go there. I've had Navy SEALs say to me, we were ready, we wanted to go, AFRICOM, Tripoli, nobody gave us the okay, we were told to stand down.
I was told the same thing.
The word
all right,
for stand
I got to
down...
say goodbye. They're telling me in my ear we got to go. Great book. I did read the book. And Pat Smith, our love to you. And, hopefully we'll see you soon with some answers.